Hey everybody! Hadn't done a makeup video in a while, so I thought now's a good time as any, especially since Unique's got like the best special going on right now with, you know, my very favorite foundation that I've ever used in my whole life. And I'm not just saying that because I sell it, it's true. So, first of all, I just want to say it's a great deal. You get the glorious face primer. You get a bottle of the Touch mineral liquid foundation, which is amazing. You can get a matching concealer that goes with it as well, and the most important part of all, the makeup brush. This is the best makeup brush I've ever used. It's got this little divot in it, so that kind of holds your liquid makeup in there while you put it on your face. Anyway, it doesn't come with a concealer brush, but that's okay because you can always just put your concealer on with your fingers if you need to. But you get this package for all 4 of those items for just $99, and I gotta tell you, it's a bargain. It's like getting the brush for free, actually, and it's like a $50 brush. Yeah. Anyway, so I've already done my morning skincare routine, so that's where we start. Let it get sort of all nice and smooth, and we start with the glorious primer. This stuff is so good, and it makes your makeup stay on all day. It gives you a just a very smooth, continuous palette, if you want to call it that way, a canvas actually for your foundation. And just use a little bit of it. Like, I use like, can you see that? I use like that much twice. Sometimes I'll put a little bit more on my nose if my nose seems to be having its red attack like it does sometimes with my nice northern European complexion. Yay, whatever. Anyway, so that's the glorious primer. It's wonderful. It's in new packaging now. It used to be in sort of a white tube, and now it's in a black tube, so it kind of matches the rest. The next item that I usually go ahead and do is my concealer. Some people do concealer after their foundation. Whatever works for you. I just feel like it blends a little bit better if I do it before. So I use a brush, but you can just use your fingers. You can see that I need concealer on my nose and on my cheeks right here. So I just put a little bit. Like, the concealer lasts forever. Like, this much is probably, can you even see that? That much is too much, actually. I put too much on there. So the first thing I do is I sort of stipple it on where I want it to go. And stippling is just a fancy word for dabbing. If you've done any kind of artwork, you probably have heard that term before. But I stipple it on there because I feel like I get better coverage that way. See, you can tell it's too much, but we'll make it work. And since I did get too much, I can kind of go into a little bit more. Like I have a little blemish right there. We'll get that guy. My nose real good. No more red nose, just a nice white nose. Actually, I use the color Organza. The concealers you can get to match your foundation, or some people like to do a shade lighter or darker, just depending on the kinds of discoloration or problem areas they feel like they have. I generally will use Organza for concealer, regardless of what shade of foundation I use. And you just said, hold please, what do you mean you use different shades of foundation? Well, I'll explain that here in a second. It has to do with my lovely white, Northern European, Irish, English, Scotch, Scandinavian complexion. So, I also have some kind of something in my DNA that allows me to actually get a suntan. I don't get it either. A lot of my fair complected friends don't appreciate that I can actually tan to a certain degree, even though I have this white freckledy complexion. But, so, I actually keep 3 shades of foundation on hand. I keep Scarlet. This is the very lightest shade that Unique has. I keep that for like the winter and like right now when I'm not getting outside too much. Organza is my typical, probably 9 months out of the year color. And then there's a couple of weeks, maybe a month out of the year when I'll actually go into velour. Also, if I have a special occasion or something, if I go and do a spray tan, or if I use any of Unique's self tanner products, it kind of looks weird when I have a scary white face and dark rest of me, so I'll go ahead and use the velour. But today, since it's acting like it wants to stay winter and not move on to spring today, even though we have had some very nice days, I'm going to use the Scarlet. Again, this is the very lightest shade that we have. I don't know if you know this or not, but the names of the Unique foundations are named after fabrics. So it feels like you're putting a nice fabric on your skin, or at least that's what it harkens to. So with the liquid foundation and the brush, it's in a sort of a dropper. So you squeeze the top to pull some of the foundation up into the dropper, and then you just drop it, squeeze it into that little divot right there. And that keeps it nice and steady, so you don't poof it all at one spot on your face at one time. So in the divot, and then you just apply it to your face like you're painting it on. So I usually do a couple of swipes across my forehead, a couple down my cheeks. I let my nose kind of hang out for a minute, making sure that concealer gets nice and smooth in there. And what I like best about this foundation is you can apply a light application of it if you want a real natural glowy look, or if you want something more dramatic and covered and thicker looking, you can do that too. I always like the full coverage because of all the red in my skin. So I do a pretty thick application, which means I typically use 8 to 10 drops. Yeah, that's all, 8 to 10 drops in that on my brush. But most people can get by with like just 5 or 6 because they don't need as heavy an application as I like, because they were not so blessed with blotchiness. So anyway, so then I kind of stipple around my nose too, because the skin on your nose, have you ever noticed it's kind of weird and different, can be, from the rest of your skin? Where it kind of, for me, peels off a little bit on my nose. I don't really understand it, but anyway. So, there you see. You can still see some pink tones on my face, of course, because I could do another layer of this if I really wanted to cover it up, but today is Sunday, so I figure natural's probably a good idea. So, and if you really, 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 really want that matte, full finish, flawless face, you could follow that with the touch powder to get a very nice matte look. So, what did I show you today? I showed you the concealer, I showed you the Mineral Touch foundation, I showed you the Can't Live Without Glorious face primer, and the makeup brush. 4-piece set, all during April. Your choice of colors, $99. It's like getting the brush for free. Go out to my site, I'll post it at the end of the video. If you're interested, we are having a little bit of a sales contest, so I'll love you to pieces if you do purchase. And be sure to let me know if you have any questions. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.